I am an assistant professor and head of the Department of Social Work, Government College for Women, Gandhinagar, Jammu. I am excited here that you are joining us today. I am going to give you a brief presentation about the social work profession, like who we are, what do we really do, and what do we really values as social worker. So start with this. First of all, I would like to brief you about the objectives of today's lectures. So before starting this, first of all, let's try to understand the content of today's lecture. So we'll go through the introduction to social work. Under that, we'll try to understand the concepts, definitions, objectives, and values of social work. So let's start with the objectives. The objectives of this study is to provide a basic understanding of the philosophy of social work. That is, to make the learner understand the nature and objectives and functions of social work profession. This study is also expected to enable you to understand the broad perspectives of social work and the interlinking of the various aspects which together indicate what social work is all about. So, after studying this, you will be able to understand what is social work and what misconceptions are prevalent in the public, definitions of social work, objectives, functions, and values of social work profession. So let's begin with the introduction. Social work as a profession is of a recent origin, and therefore people are not aware of the real meaning of a social work. They define it in their own terms and knowledge. The following are the few areas which are generally known as the fields of social work. So let's begin with this with some misconceptions related to social work profession. First of all, we'll brief about the arm giving activities. We have seen that social work always this profession always considered as arm giving activities. As we all know that it is a traditional concept. The desire to help a fellow human has been present from the very inception of the human society. Such a desire was generated by the feeling of belongingness. In a different beliefs, it was a religious duty of a man to provide care and protection to the people who are suffering from various kinds of situation in their life, those who are suffering from various kinds of distress situations in their life. So still today, I'm giving to the needy, to the help, those who are in help, those who are needy is considered a social welfare activity, but arm giving is not a social work, because the arm to of help in social work is to solve the client's problems scientifically. So social workers attempts to regenerate the self-confidence and self-dependency. So in this regard, we can say that the social work is not an arm giving activities. So next in the line, we have the Shamdhan's activities. Shamdhan, sometimes we in the public, we have seen that people assumes that the social work is a Shamdhan activity. Um, what is the Shramdan actually? Shramdan is something to provide physical help voluntarily to any individual, to group or community. For example, public sanitation. For example, to provide the help to the flood victims or constructions of public roads and etc. and etc. But this is not social work, because there is no need of as such any training, as such of any professional training in Shramdan. Whereas the social workers are the trained persons, and the basic aim of social work is to solve the adjustmental problems through the scientific outlook. So in social work profession, problems always solved scientifically. again, such activities are also not considered as the social work. Next in the line, we have the leadership activities. Political leaders, we have the into our society the political leaders, the political persons, those who are in the political affairs, and the social workers has become interchangeable terms sometimes. uh, the political leaders are neither trained, um, or not, they have as such professional ethics and values. They have not, they don't have as such a professional knowledge which used by the social workers in their day to day, in their field practices. In social work profession, we use the social work methodology in our practice, in our practice settings. So in this regard, we can say that the leadership activities are not should not be considered as the social work. Next in the line, we have the social welfare activities. Social welfare activities, or sometimes we assume that the social work is something which is related to social welfare. uh, if we'll try to understand about the social welfare, then we can see that Elizabeth has defined social welfare as, the social welfare are those activities which includes those laws, programs, benefits, and services which assure, which strengthen, which assure the people for meeting their needs by recognizing as the basics to the well-being of the population and the better functioning of their social order. Social welfare is concerned with all those forms of social welfare, includes the interventions that have the primary as well as the direct concern with promoting the well-being as well as the overall functioning of the society as whole. So social welfare activities are those activities which are performed through the social provisions, through social services and social actions. So let's try to understand what are these social functionings in terms of social provisions, in terms of public assistance and social insurance. So if we'll talk about the social services are of four types. These are in the form of developmental, remedial, supportive, and substitutive. For example, education services we have into our society, we have in for the people are are the type of the developmental social services. Family counseling and child guidance are the remedial services. We have the daycare and nutritional services. These services are the type of the supportive services under the social welfare. And some services which are in the form of the foster services, these are the form of the substitutive services. So these are the some forms of the social services which do we get in the form of the welfare. Next, let's try to understand the social action. So social action is concerned with the changing people. Social action seeks to alter the structure of the roles and distributions of the power, prevents problem and expand opportunity as well as enhance the quality of the life. So this is about the social welfare. So social welfare is something which is a specialized work for the benefit of the weaker, for the benefit of the marginalized and vulnerable sections of this society. And this include the social services for the benefit of the women, children, physically handicapped, mentally retarded, and any other marginalized or weaker sections of the society. But if we'll compare this the social welfare with the social work, then we can say that the social work is a professional service based on the knowledge of human relations and is concerned with the problems of interpersonal intrapersonal adjustment, which are actually resulting from unmet need of any individual, group, or community. So this is the difference between the social welfare and social work. Social welfare is in a simple way we can say that are those services, those provisions we which we got through the government, uh, for the benefit, for enhancing the overall well-being of the people. And this majority we are made for the benefit of the weaker and more vulnerable sections of the population. But if we'll talk about the social work is a practice based profession. It's a professional services which actually based on the knowledge, which actually based on the theoretical knowledge of the human relations. And this is more concerned about the psychosocial problems of the people. And this help us to understand the overall interpersonal and interpersonal situations of any individual, any group, or any community. So in this regard, we can say that the basic aim of social work is not just to provide the solution to their problem, but to solve the adjustmental problems and uh, you know to to uh, in short way, we can say that the social work is that profession which concerned with the overall well-being of the people. This is something which provide the help to the people to so that they become more self-reliant, they become more self-sufficient, they do can help themselves. They social work is something which of course provide help to the people so that they can help themselves. So this is not something about the social service or social welfare. So next in the line we have the social service and social work. Social, sometimes we have seen that people used to say that social work is something related to social service, but social services are those organized activities which are directly concerned with the protection and the improvement of the human relation resources. We have for example, we have the public parks, we have educational institutions, we have hospitals, we have health services. All these concerned with the social services which actually provide to the population directly, which concerned with the improvement and protection of the human resources, which actually improve our resources, add up our human resources. And social services are those services which enhance the social functioning, of any particular individual or family, groups, or communities, so that they become enable to the social resources. The social services is about the processes that enhance the capacity of the individuals and families to cope with the stress and the normal demands of their social life. So, in a short way, we can say that the changes in the individual are not brought directly to modify their behavior, but through the modification or the alteration in their social environment. So, this is about the social services. Whatever the services we have into our society, this is not just to for the modification in our behavior, This is just for the modification in our resources to enable us resourceful to this is about to modify the human life by altering in their social environment. So in this regard we can say that this is about the social services. But if we talk about the social work is that process which deals directly and differentially with persons who have problems relating primarily to their social situations, and which endeavors individual to individuals, because being as individual we are all different. We are different in each aspect, in terms of social, economical, cultural, and psychological. There in each aspect, if we talk about each and every aspect, we are the different individuals. So in this regard, social work is that profession, is that process which deals with the help of the different methods, directly or differently with the persons who have different problem in their life situations, and to understand, so that we can understand what help is needed and what to assist the individual to find and utilize the help indicated, what type of help actually they want in what kind of the situation from there they are actually suffering. So to understand their psychosocial situations, this social work profession helps us to deal differently with the person, with the individuals, with the group and the community. So thus in this way, helping the helpless is social service, but helping the helpless to help themselves so that they can help themselves is about social works. So this is about the difference between the social work and social service, and all other misconception which we use to merge with the social work professions like social welfare, um, arm giving activities, leadership activities, any sort of the charity, philanthropy or voluntary activities which we used to do into our society for providing the help to the helpless people. So, in sum up, the most frequently misconception about the social work is that the people make mistakes in this regard. We can see that yes, people mistakenly perceive social work as something related to charity, giving activities, voluntary activities. All such activities sometimes used to consider as a social work into a society, but this is not the reality. This is really not the social work, as it does not provide any permanent solution to the person's problems, and does not empower a person to face his problem by himself. So, social work, the aim of the social work is to make a person self dependent and self reliant. It attempts to explore the causal factors behind the problem of a person and try to solve them scientifically. So, this is the real meaning of social work. So, in next, we have why social work. If into our society we have the social welfare, we have social services, we have voluntary services, we have charity, we have philanthropy, why there is the need of social work into, why there is a need of such type of profession into our society. So let's try to understand why there is a need of social work. We all know that we used to go through so many problems in our life, the social life, whatever we can say, that the social life of the modern world is characterized by numerous of problems. We have because we in the modern time, in the current scenario, the people's approach are profit oriented approach. um, um, we the customer customer we have some sort of profit or oriented approach, and this actually bring the drastic consequences in our social life. This has bring the drastic consequences and challenges, which create so many problems in the modern world. For example, poverty, unemployment, migration. We are used to go through the sexual violence, atrocities against women, suicides, substance abuses, family disintegration, isolation, terrorism. We used to see the problems with the children, like child abuse and etc and etc. So there are the so many problems we have in our social life, especially in the modern world. S- Sorry. So, the question was why social work? We all know that the solution of these problems on a scientific basis is essential to ensure the peaceful life, to ensure the overall well-being, and to enhance the social functioning of an individual. So for that, of course, there is a need of some sort of the scientific basis to provide the solution to these problems to the scientific way. So, second, we can see that many people give arm to solve such problems. For example, if we talk about poverty and unemployment, we used to see that from the ancient time, we do prefer charity, we do prefer philanthropic activities, so that we can provide help to the people though who are needy. We have been practicing these types of charities from the centuries to help the poor and vulnerable sections of the society, but problems still exist. These activities provide, because these such activities provides only the permanent solutions, right? With such solution. For example, if we talk about the charity are those activities which do provides only the permanent solution to such problems. And in the modern term, the complexity and the magnitude of such problems demand a scientific approach. If we want to solve such problems genuinely, of course, there is the demand of the scientific approach. We should solve the problems through scientifically. So, professional social work make people independent. Here we were discussing about why the social work. So we have gone to the reason, because we have seen that there are so many problems we have seen in this society, in the world, which for that we try to solve them through to the activities of the charity, arm providing, arm giving activities, so that we can solve the problem. But this is not the permanent solution. For that, there is a need of some sort of the scientific, there is a need of the use of the scientific approach. And social work, is that a process, is that approach which makes the people independent rather than the independent. When it was observed that the problems require scientific approach for the proper and the effective management, a new system of scientific system of intervention came into existence, that is known as the social work. So this is here is the answer why there is a need of some scientific outlook, why there is a need of some sort of the methodology which have the scientific outlook, so that we can provide the permanent solution to such problems. Next in the line, let's begin with what is a social work. So let's start. We'll try to understand the social work with the help of some definitions. So let's start with what is social work. Okay, so Social work is an interdisciplinary course which based on the humanitarian principles of social justice, human rights, equality, solidarity, with the vision of creating an egalitarian society. Social work is something which looks for the amelioration of the human sufferings with a scientific outlook, lies at the helm of this profession. So, this is the aim of professional social work, to ameliorate the human suffering with the scientific outlook. This profession is driven by the theories from the different disciplines like sociology, anthropology, psychology, and philosophy. uh, this profession utilizes the scientific method that can be applied while dealing with the problems at the individual, at groups, and the community level. So, social work is that practice-based profession that emphasize and the inculcation of the ethics and values while working with the people in the practical settings. So it is because of this purpose, the training throughout the course become the essential part of the social work profession, so that student get engaged, and in this regard the student get engaged in an extensive and rigorous fieldwork training within the community or with the direct interventions, or through the various national as well as the international or developmental organization and the with the governmental institutions. So this is about the brief introduction about the social work. What is social work about actually? So in the nutshell way, we can say that social work is that is a practice based profession which based upon the knowledge, the theories which are driven by the by through the different disciplines, and the social work methods deals with the problems of individuals, with the groups and community as well also. And if we'll talk about talk according to the perspectives of the students, we can say that the students do engage with the fieldwork settings, and these settings may be in the form of the at maybe in the form of the developmental organization, governmental institutions, or with the direct intervention as well also. So this is about the social works. Next, let's start with some definitions. So definitions, let's begin with the definition which actually known as the global definition of social work. The below given definition also amplified at the global as well as the regional level, and this has been given by International Federation of Social Workers. uh, According to this, social work is a practice based profession as well as an academic discipline that promote the social change, development, social cohesion, and empowerment and the liberation of people. The principles of social justice, human rights, collective responsibility, and the respect for diversity are central to social work, and underpinned by the theories of social work, social sciences, humanities, and indigenous knowledge. Social work engage people and structures. This engage people as well as the structure to address the life challenges and enhance the well-being. So this is about the social work definition, which has been given by the International Federation of Social Worker, and this definition is also known as the global definition of social work. Let's do throw some light on some more definitions. One is according to the Indian Conference of Social Work, and this has been given in 1957. Social work, according to this, social work is a welfare activity based on the humanitarian philosophy, scientific knowledge, and technical skills for helping the individual, group, or community to live a rich and full life. Next in the line, we have according to National Association of Social Worker. According to this, social work is a profession devoted to helping the people function in the best way they can in their environment. So these are the some definition which are given by the different bodies to explain what is social work. Next, let's start with the objectives of social work. So, uh, objectives in general are the statement. Objectives are that formulation. It's about the formulation of what we are trying to do. For example, if here we are discussing about the objectives of social work, that means what we are actually want to do, what we actually try to do with this profession. So in social work, objectives implies to the statement expressing what social work is trying to do, or what we as the professional are trying to do in the social work for accomplishing the task of social work. So let's start with the different objectives. There are generally and universally accepted objectives which which are for example to solve the psychosocial problems of in individual, group, or any community, to fulfill the humanitarian needs, to solve adjustmental problems, to create self sufficiency, to make and strengthen harmonious social relations, to develop democratic values among the people, to make for corrective and recreational services. So the next objectives is about to provide opportunities for development and the social progress. Next, to educate the community. Next is about to change the environment in the favor of the individual's growth and development, and to bring the change in the defective social system for social development. And the last one is to provide the social legal aid to the needy who cannot afford to meet them. So this is about the objectives of social work professions. So next in the line, we have the values of social work. Social workers promote a social justice and a social change with and on the behalf of the client. So, in the definition, we have gone through what is social work. This is about something which the core philosophy of social work is to, you know, uh, to work for the equality, to work for the social justice, to bring the social justice and change in the society. So, in this regard, we can say that social works do work for the client, so that so that they can work on the behalf of their client, so that they can provide the social justice to their client also. Here, who is the client? Client is used to refer any individual, any family, groups, organization, or communities. So why as such? Because social workers are very sensitive to cultural as well as the ethical diversity. and this do strive for to end the discrimination, oppression, inequality. So ultimately their objectives, their core philosophies just to work so that they can bring the social justice for their client, for the society as well also. So what type of the activities they do perform while practicing with their client or with the individual group or community. So they do perform the activities, they do provide the services through the direct practice, through community organization, supervision, consultation, advocacy, through social change, through awareness, through policy development, through implementation, education, research, and evaluation. So these are the some activities which are do performed by the social workers, so that they do provide the services to their client, for promoting the social justice and social change within the society or on the behalf of the client. So, social workers seek to enhance the capacity of the people so that they can address the need of their clients, for the sake of to promote the responsiveness of the organization or community or other social institution, or to the individual, to individual needs and social problems. So we were talking about the values. So values values are something, according to the social work, values are something which help us to understand, um you know which made the social work profession, actually based upon the values. This has made us distinguish from other discipline as well also. So values has the great importance, the are the values which do inculcate into our practice, which help us to which actually made us different and distinguished from other disciplines. And the values for the social worker says, this is who we are, this is what make us unique, this is what we think is important, and this is how we live our professional lives. So let's discuss what are these values. Before mentioning the values, let's try to understand what are the missions. The mission of the social work profession is rooted in the set core values, and these values are absolutely the foundations of social work's unique purpose and perspectives. While going through the fieldwork practices, social worker used to inculcate these values in their practical settings, so that they can solve their purpose, so that they can provide the services effectively to their clients. So these values there are the six core values we have into our profession. The very first is the service. Second, social justice. We have dignity and worth of the person. Next, importance of human relation. Next is the integrity, and the last one is the competence. So these are the six core values, which is rooted with the social work profession. So which actually social work profession is rooted in these set core values, so that we can work with the unique purpose and perspectives. So let's begin with these values. What is about the value of services? So value of services refer to the expectations that the social workers will provide the services to their clients, so that they become more self independent, so that they can become more self reliant. So that's why we have the value of services. We do work for our own client in the form of any individual, group, or community, to make them more empowered, to make them more self reliant and self sufficient. Next is about the value of social justice. So, we all know that social workers give a high priority to the serving to those who are considered as the marginalized and weaker sections of weaker or disadvantaged sections of the societies. So working on on their problems like poverty, unemployment, or to bring the some sort of some social change into the society or in the system, and so that we can remove the oppression and disadvantage from the societies. So in this regard, we have the value of the social justice, for working with the marginalized sections of the society. Definitely we can do only through inculcating the value of the social justice and equality among the societies. Next is about the value of dignity and worth. So what is about the value placed on the dignity and the worth? Every individual we consider as they have their own values, they have their own worth and dignity. So providing the importance to the people with the dignity, with their worth, is the core, one of the core value of in the practice of social work, so that we can see the people with the respect, with the dignity, with the worth, and to remove, to avoid the differences, to work with the people regardless of the differences and treating them equally and respectfully. So that's why we do inculcate the value of the worth and dignity while practicing with an individuals, group, or community. Next is about the valuing human relationships. So, what is about valuing the human relationship? Social workers identifying relationship as the medium for the personal as well as the social change. uh, because we are the part of the society, we used to live in the society. That's why there is the need of the solidarity, there is the need of the importance of identifying the importance of the relationship, of the human relationships. So the human relationship are actually the medium. This is actually the way to bring the change among the society. So that's why the profession values the relationship between the practitioners as well as between the clients, so that uh, we do provide, we do emphasize, we do uh, give importance to the relationship between the social work and with the client, so that we can provide better services to our client, to promote, to restore, so that we can promote, to restore, and to enhance, as well as to maintain and to enhance the well-being of our client. Whatever the client we have, in the form of individual, in the form of the families, in the form of the groups, social groups, organizations, or community. So that's why we have the value of human relationship in our practice in the social work profession. Next is about the value of integrity, and the last one is the competence. So let's start with the values of integrity. Value of integrity are common across the helping profession. Integrity, what is integrity? Integrity refers to the commitment to the honesty. It is about the trustworthiness, so that we to take some steps, the steps which assures the ethical practice by by the social workers, by the practitioners, by any organizations for which you are working actually. So value of integrity are the most important value, because this refers to you about the commitment regarding your work. This refers to the honesty. This refers to the trustworthiness towards your activities, towards your action, towards the services, whatever you are providing to your client. So, last but not the least, about the competencies. Competencies requires that a social, requires that social workers practice only within their own domains, because what type of the domain of expertise. For example, to take the continuous measures to improve their or your own capabilities, your knowledge, which evolves, and which require according to the time. So competency is very much important, so that you enhance yourself, you can make competent to yourself in the field, in the area of your expertise, to enhance your own abilities and capabilities to work, to deal with the problems, to the solution, to provide the interventions to your client. So this is about this is all about the introduction to social work. I hope this brief introduction about the social work has helped us to understand what is this about, what is the profession is all about. Thank you so much.